This week on Dialed In Angling, I'm joined with my good buddy Bill Dietz. We are on Lake Winnipeg. We drove up yesterday with our trucks. No machines behind us. It's pretty rare when you can drive trucks on Lake Winnipeg, but this year with little or no snow, that's the case. We met up with Donovan Pierce of Blackwater Cats Outfitters. You know, anytime you're coming to a lake like Lake Winnipeg and you're talking about driving your vehicles out, you're gonna wanna contact a guide service. Donovan was nice enough, we could convoy out with his customers, getting his customers set up in the background. Bill and I are gonna grab the auger, start doing some scanning. Let's get on some big greenbacks, my friend. You know, Lake Winnipeg is basin fishing. Really, there's no structure. And so what we're doing out here is we're just trying to establish how many fish are in this area. You pick a particular depth. Right now, we're starting out in that 12-foot range. I just drill a handful of holes, and Bill and I are just gonna fish outside. I know it's cold out here, but we're gonna fish outside to see how active these fish are. We're seeing them on forward-facing sonar. We're gonna use a variety of baits to see if we can trigger those fish. Once we get in an area with a lot of walleyes, then that's time to set up the otters and get nice and warm and just start catching fish in comfort. But I like to find the fish first, always. I'm gonna start with the rattle bait, rip and wrap. You know, a lot of horizontal presentations were born on Lake Winnipeg. These rattle baits, this whole category was born right here on this lake. Bill and I are gonna tag team it. He's gonna use a spoon, like a rattle and roach spoon, and I'm gonna use this large rip and wrap. I love the way these fish come into these rattle baits. It's so cool. Okay, on Lake Winnipeg, you gotta pinch the barbs down. It's all barbless here. Slide my hook in the groove and then just pinch those barbs down. Really important that they're all pinched down completely before you start fishing. There we go, Bill. Fish on. Okay. That didn't take long, my friend. I love the way they crack those rip and wraps, these rattle baits. Trying to get them up through the hole here. Oh yeah, baby.
Nice fish.
That is the way you start out your Lake Winnipeg trip right there. Oh, giant greenbacks.
Look how fat that thing is.
Look at how fat that fish is. He's not even that long. This is why they get the nickname greenbacks. Look at that emerald back on that girl. Woo! I want to get that thing in the water. I was worried he got hooked on there. They're so aggressive. You can see their big head shakes. You can see my rod. That's why you come to Lake Winnipeg. Woo! To start out with a fish like that. Not even that long, but look at how fat and healthy these fish are. I always joke around how small heads they are and how large of bodies they have.
Beautiful fish.
Let's get her back in before she freezes. It's nasty out here.
Nice job.
We've been fishing for like 4 minutes. I'll take that. Oh, Bill, I got another one. I just got a fish, dropped down, got another one. Another nice fish.
Look at that.
Oh. They are so mad and aggressive. Look at that bait in its mouth. Rip and wrap. They are clocking the rip and wrap. That's my favorite bite on this lake. I mean, I fell in love with horizontal presentations on this lake like a lot of people. It opened my eyes to the opportunities of fishing rattle baits, big, loud rattle baits like this. Popped right off. You better get her back in. I think this is where we set up the otter, don't you? I mean, 2 fish in about 6 minutes. Welcome to Lake Winnipeg, Bill.
And they're cycling through. It's nice.
Yes, they are. Let's get set up here. It's cold out here, man.
Dialed In Angling, brought to you by Strike Master, Rapala, L&M Fleet Supply and DeWalt, and by Coors Light.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
The lakes are locked.
It's time to unlock them. No matter your mode of transport, your quarry, it takes a hole, the right hole, in the right spot, at the right time.
Oh man, look at that.
You need dependable, abundant power to match your motivation.
Yeah, baby!
The elements are hard enough. Don't fight it. Arm yourself with the cutting edge of the cutting edge. Arm yourself with Strike Master.
When it's time to eat, the VMC rattling roast spoon calls them in. The spoon's design entices fish by combining its intense fluttering action with an exposed rattle chamber for maximum vibration. The rattling roach spoon comes in 16 different colors, including UV bright and ultra glow options. Every spoon includes a marabou teaser tail, which conceals a tack-sharp VMC treble hook. Call the fish to you with the rattling roach spoon. See it all at vmchooks.com.
It's that time again, anglers. Winter is here, and L&M Fleet Supply is ready to make this your best season ever. Head on into your favorite Northland location and browse our extensive collection of DeWalt tools and accessories, all guaranteed tough. Cut through the thickest ice with DeWalt's 20-volt cordless hammer drill. Brighten up your setup with the DeWalt handheld portable LED light. And stay entertained with the DeWalt Bluetooth speaker, weather-resistant, rugged, and ready for any adventure. Find guaranteed tough DeWalt quality products at L&M Fleet Supply. Quality at a discount.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Dave's back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
Oh, Bill, this is nice, my friend.
Good living.
If the fish are cruising that fast, I don't mind sitting in the otter, hunkered down. I'm excited to get this heat on in here. I didn't even see that one come in, Bill. That's the problem with these fish being in this shallow water. They come flying in, they come in hot.
Look at that one.
They're all just quality fish, man. I always tell people too, like that front treble hook like that, if they're hooked up and they're hitting that front treble hook and not just grabbing that back treble, it's game on.
Sure makes it easy when those things are barbless like that.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Beautiful.
And it's not even a giant for Lake Winnipeg. Anywhere else you'd be so jacked right now to catch that fish. Here they come. Oh, get aggressive. They like chasing. Oh, that's a nice one.
There we go.
There we go, Bill. That thing chased it up about 5 feet. Let me get this deucer out of here.
A little bit better one, maybe.
Not bad.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that on the rattling roach spoon. I think I'm calling him in with my rattle bait, and then Bill just smoked that one on the roach spoon.
I'll take it.
Another healthy fish. Boy, we are getting good average size here. Look at that. Another fat fish. On the rattling roach spoon. Ooh, the gold. I like the Juicy Lucy gold. Good fish, Bill.
Thank you.
And my hands aren't burning from like when I'm sitting outside. This is nice in the tent here. Fishing out of the otter. Good fish, man. Let's get her back in. There she goes. When I'm fishing ripping wraps up here, here's my ultimate setup. I do this all the time. I use like a fluorocarbon leader with like a 100-pound barrel swivel. As you can see, it's a VMC barrel swivel. And then I'm using a 10-pound braid. What I like about the braid fluorocarbon swivel combo is the fact that I can have total control over this bait without the bait fouling. If you're tying the braid direct, a lot of times the back hook from these ripping wraps will come up and catch that line, and you don't want that when you're jigging. Also, the barrel swivel itself will prevent any sort of line twists that you have. You don't want any line twists. You don't want that bait spinning down there. And then the braid, I almost always fish the braid, even though it's cold out here and I'm hole hopping or hopping in the house. What I like about the braid itself is you can feel everything and you can keep tension on those fish. When you're having to pinch down the barbs and you're going barbless, you have to have total control over that fish. That's why I also like using a little bit longer rod, something with a lot of backbone. That way when I set the hook, I have total control over that fish. I can also control the head shakes. You know, a lot of these big walleyes up here, you need something that's gonna absorb those big head shakes, but not have that bait come unpinned from the fish. We had a great morning in this spot, but things have slowed down a little bit. We're gonna take a little bit of a micro move, but you're gonna wanna stay tuned because we've got more dialed in angling from Lake Winnipeg coming your way.
All right, Tony is catching big walleyes on Lake Winnipeg. You can do the exact same thing with the game plan and the right equipment. This is big water. Tony's out here with a buddy. If anything should go wrong, he has someone to help get off the ice. Conditions can change in a hurry and become dangerous out here. This is a 250 mile by 60 mile wide body of water. It is absolutely enormous. Tony is fishing on the southern end, right down here. This is where most of the fishing happens during the winter months because the Red River dumps in right here, and the fish will congregate as they prepare for the spawn coming up. This bite remains through February and March as long as there's safe ice. Now, how do you find the fish on this huge body of water? Well, as you can tell right now, there's not a lot of snow, so you can travel and get around, which obviously can change in a hurry, but right now, take advantage of it. Some areas to look for might be a pressure ridge right here. The fish on this shallow basin out here aren't necessarily relating to structure, they're relating to bait fish. So anytime you find the food, you will find the walleyes, and even though they're on a move, the schools can be huge. So once you get in them, you can sit there and catch and catch. If the fish move, you move with them. Tony's fishing aggressive. This is what most people will use up on Lake Winnipeg. This is a Rapala ripping rap number 6. This is a loud lure that can call them in. They feel that, they will come in and hunt it down. These are not your walleyes on a northern Minnesota lake fishing structure. Big baits, call them in and catch huge Lake Winnipeg greenbacks. If you have the opportunity, get up here. This is a bucket list ice fishing destination.
Dialed In Angling, brought to you by Strike Master, Sportsman's Guide, Devil's Lake, North Dakota Tourism, and by Skidoo.
The lakes are locked. It's time to unlock them. No matter your mode of transport, your quarry, it takes a hole, the right hole, in the right spot, at the right time.
Oh man, look at that.
You need dependable, abundant power to match your motivation.
Yeah, baby!
The elements are hard enough. Don't fight it. Arm yourself with the cutting edge of the cutting edge. Arm yourself with Strike Master.
More than 50 years ago, right here in Minnesota, Sportsman's Guide made a commitment to work hard and treat customers fairly while outfitting them for outdoor success. Today, Sportsman's Guide continues to grow, selling the world's top outdoor brands at the very best prices, and they ship right to your front door. They also support America's veterans, shooting sports, women in the outdoors, and your favorite conservation organizations. For all of your outdoor needs, trust Sportsman's Guide.
I got to grow up sitting in a boat or going out on the ice since I was big enough to put my own boots on. And every year, me and my dad were planning a trip. We're going somewhere fishing, but Devil's Lake's one that we haven't got to go to yet. And I'm so happy that we got to do this because this is one of the best fisheries that I've been on, and that says a lot.
You know, I can't say enough about it. It was a great experience.
Plan your next adventure at devilslakend.com.
There's the fish right there. That's a showstopper there, man.
Oh, buddy. Arctic
Temps continue to grow some of the best ice we have seen in years. Hey there, Bill Shirk in with today's ice report. We're starting over in South Dakota where Marcus Quam, you've been on the ice literally 7 days a week. What's your best fishing advice right now?
You know, with these temperatures dipping down, seems like these fish are pretty negative. And we have a lack of snow on the ice, so it seems like moving around is, I mean, it's good, but it's bad. You're going to spook fish, so it's just trying to stay on, you know, in front of them or get on their path or whatever. So my best advice right now is with no snow on the ice, just use your sonar and make small moves, but smart moves.
Over in Minnesota, Jamie Dittman is covering both Mille Lacs Lake and the Brainerd Lakes area. All right, Jamie, if you're going out fishing this week, what is the one approach you're probably going to pick?
One approach would be jigging spoons with minnow heads. More active, more bites. There is times where the plain hook works good, but I'm a jigger. So basically right now, Gull Lake, 18 to 25 feet, rattle and roach spoon. A couple different sizes are my favorite on Gull, a couple different colors. This is probably my favorite color in any jig style, any spoon style. Second would always be perch. That's my second go-to. Perch and gold, always a good color.
Heading up into northern Minnesota, Brian Beef Sather has seen strong fishing really on both Red Lake and Lake of the Woods. Any crappie reports right now?
Yeah, they're starting to show up here on the reefs up north in the Angle, and we're even getting reports of, we've seen some on the south end out in the mud too. So believe it or not, they're pounding the hatchet spoons. So it's been really cool to see the crappie show up.
All right, I got to ask you, a hatchet spoon tipped with what?
So here's the secret. You're coming up to Lake of the Woods this week or next week or even sometime this winter, bring waxworms. Tip it with a waxworm, watch what happens. I like using minnow heads, but the guys that are throwing a couple waxies on there, double thumbs up on that one.
Ooh, look
Whoa,
at these.
look at them all. We've only moved about, I'd say about 300 yards. You know, we're out in a basin. Again, Donovan's just kind of hopscotching his guide customers all around this whole basin area. And it's all about just moving in an area where there's just a ton of fish as we scan.
Oh, this feels good too.
All right. I didn't even see it on
Yeah,
the
he didn't even
graph.
show up on the graph.
Oh, those are the ones I like, Bill. Oh, I'm always amazed at how much they fight on this lake. Okay, I see your swivel coming up the hole. Water's bouncing, baby. Oh, yeah, Bill. Oh, I can't even grab onto this fat guy.
Oh, look at that.
That's a nice one.
Take him.
On the roach spoon?
Yes. Roach rattle spoon.
I have been just working that rattle bait, and now Bill's starting to take over on the rattle and roach spoon. I might have to switch. Not yet. I'm so stubborn because I absolutely love using rattle baits, but when you start whacking fish like that, you'll convince me pretty quickly, my friend. Bill? Roach spoon?
Yes.
Oh. You might have convinced me to take the rip and wrap off. They were just rocking the rip and wraps and the rattle baits this morning, but now Bill's starting to put a clinic on the spoon. And the roach spoon does have a loud rattle chamber. Oh, that's a good fish. Oh, but it's that fluttering motion that they like. They like a lot of spoons out here that flutter. You know, we're in shallow water. They really key in on some of those baits that fall a little slower. I know there's times where, you know, we're fishing aggressive, but they like that slow fall of that roach spoon. And of course, that marabou hair on there just holds the scent of those salties. Another good fish. We've gotten a lot of quality fish today. That's what's cool about Lake Winnipeg. It's just, it seems like we've caught all sizes of fish, but they're all really, really healthy. Big greenbacks, nice. Good fish. I want to put your fish back. You've convinced me to switch, at least for the time being. The bite can always change out here. You know, they go back and forth between the spoons and the rattle baits. Oh, I'm usually not this stubborn. It's just Lake Winnipeg is one of those lakes where you can fish large rattle baits. And with the way they were cracking it this morning, They've definitely eased off. I'm switching over. You've convinced me, Bill. Nice fish.
You want to grab that transmission?
Yeah, nice fish, Bill. It's all right, another eater, Bill. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go out and hole hop a little bit, see if we can get some bigger class of fish. We were really rocking them this morning. You never know on Lake Winnipeg, the next hole could hold a Masters. Hey, you're gonna wanna stay tuned. We got more Dialed In Angling coming your way.
Dialed In Angling, brought to you by Onyx Fish, Markham Technologies, iFish Pro Tip Up, Heat Hog, and by Otter Outdoors.
Welcome back to Dialed In Angling. We are on Lake Winnipeg. We are smashing lots of walleyes, lots of big fish. That's why we come to Lake Winnipeg, for the aggressive fish and these absolute giants. You know, it was really cold today, especially when we started out this morning, but now it's got nice out. The winds kind of died down. We caught a bunch of fish in the house, but I want to get out and hole hop on this lake using forward-facing sonar and our 2D sonars to really track these fish down. There is a lot of fish in this area, Bill. I want to get right on top of them. Let's go. Ooh, I like it.
Those are bigger ones too.
Let's get out in front of the trucks and I'll start ripping holes and you can kind of point me in the right direction here, okay? Forward-facing sonar is a valuable tool when you're on Lake Winnipeg to be able to stay mobile and stay on top of these fish in a lake that's the size of Lake Winnipeg. This is huge. You know, what we're doing is we're just picking up and moving quarter-mile increments. Earlier today, we were just flipping over the shack over the top of us as soon as you see fish. Now we're actually gonna fish outside and just try to stay on top of them and connect with those fish. Oh, he missed it. There, he hit it. He missed it the first time. I got him. I got him. Not bad, not bad. Just launched that bait too. Look at that.
Nice fish.
Heck yeah. Inhaling it. Oh, I love it. I love that bite. There's nothing that replaces that bite. This is an ice fishing destination for a good reason, and one of it has to do with big, huge rattling baits. There's just intrigue for me ever since I started fishing up here. There we go.
Nice fish.
Not bad. They're all pretty fun. You know, when you're working these big rattle baits, especially outside like this, when you're using a braided line, it's always good to keep clearing that line and getting all that ice off your line. You want to fish without any ice. What happens is that ice builds on that braid, and then you go to set the hook and reel in your fish, and then there's slack in the line because of the ice. You want to prevent that. So I'm always constantly cleaning my braid when I'm fishing. It's going to prevent you from ever losing a fish out here and not being able to crank those fish up. Down there?
I can't see it. I've got them up so high.
Okay, make sure you're clearing that ice off your line too. You don't want to lose a big fish because of the ice. I got one right here too. Oh, there's one. That one just cracked it, Bill.
Okay, here, I'll be over there.
I went back to the rattle bait. That thing smoked it. I put a chrome rattle bait on. Good fish too.
Oh, nice one. Look at that one.
That is a beauty. Oh, she is just mad.
That was a nice fish.
Yes, it is. Woo. That's a Lake Winnipeg beauty right there. Look at that front treble hook. That thing came up and just smashed it. That's why I love fishing those rattle baits. I know we've had great success on spoons, and there's times throughout the day where you have to downsize, but man, there is no other feeling than a fish smashing that rattle bait and the way they come up and aggressively smack it. I mean, that's not even a giant, but look at that thing, still mad.
She's still mad.
Oh, unbelievable. What an absolute beauty. Oh, I'm gonna get her back in. She's starting to freeze. Dude, I will take that any day of the week from Lake Winnipeg. Unbelievable.
Great trip.